Alright everybody, here we are. Just bought this Cub Cadet last night. By the time I got back into town and home, it was 11:30 at night. Got a parts mower with it. Picked both up for $250. Now this was making, if you have one of these Cub Cadets and when you go to start it and it's making the worst clanging and banging noise ever, check your motor mounts. Real simple. I believe it's a 15 millimeter. Just hop under there real quick with an impact or a ratchet and snug them back up. 9 times out of 10, that's all it is. But we got another little problem with this machine, and if you've clicked on this video, you're either bored or you're having the same problem. Kholer Courage. 50% of people will say they're junk. 50% of people will say they're a fantastic engine. I've never seen one that has impressed me, but it's my own opinion. Valve cover gasket leaking like a sieve. Well, I mean, not terrible. It dripped. It was. I tried to snug them back up because sometimes they're just loose, but this one ain't no good. It's still leaking even though it's tight. Here we go. We're gonna do. I'm gonna show you. We're gonna minus that gasket, 100%. We're gonna take it right out. We're not gonna use it. It's a cork gasket. They're pieces of junk. So we're just gonna pop this hood off. Real simple. Get your headlight wires up out of the way. I just wrapped mine up around the gas tank up here. Okay, you got 8 millimeter. 1, 2. This one's a little bit of a pain to get to, but 3, 4. Take them right up and out. Put them in a place you're not going to lose them. Pull your dipstick out. Pull your cover right up and off. Okay. Set that to the side. First thing we're going to do before we start touching these valve cover bolts, we're going to take this heat shield off, get us a little more room. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 10 millimeter bolts. I'll be right back with you. Okay, I got those 4 bolts out. What I usually do, you can use a cup, a ball, anything to put your bolts in. What I usually do is just a little trick my dad taught me a long time ago, is put them out on a piece of cardboard or paper towel, anything, as you go along here. That way, because a lot of your bolts are different, a lot of your bolts are the same, but to me it makes sense to just put them right there. And we're going to pop this off. And this engine's a little warm, so just be careful if you did run it. It is going to be hot. Alright, so we got a little more room here for them bottom bolts. Alright, so we're going to start right here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Your hose. Just pop that right out. Set it up Just like that, out of the way. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Take all 9 10mm bolts out. Be right back. Okay, we got all 9 out. I'm just going to point out real quick that if you do have this bracket on, I'm pretty sure this is Kohler's mighty idea of stopping the valve cover from warping from the heat from the exhaust. And it clearly is another failed design from Kohler. So you're going to have this one here is going to be the same as this bolt in the middle. It's going to be the same as all these other bolts up and around here. Now you have 2 bolts that are going to be different. They're 10mm heads, but they're going to be different size, everything. Here and here is going to be different. This is the valve cover bolt. This is that bracket bolt. So do not confuse them. They're very easy to decipher, but do not mix them up when you're going back on. So put them 2 off to the side. Right here's all your valve cover bolts. So we're going to pop this bracket off. And I'm pretty sure, like I said, that this was their smart plan to stop this. What happens is the heat from the exhaust warps these valve covers, and then not to mention the cork gasket fails also. And you can go and spend the $17, all depends where you get it, $17, 20 something dollars, get a brand new cork gasket, put it all back together, and it'll still leak. So I'm going to show you, we're going to get rid of that cork gasket altogether. Pull your gasket, your cover off. Sometimes your gasket will stick on you. Just pull that off. Yeah, and then you can see where this gasket has failed. And exactly the same spot they always fail. Right in the bottom. See, this ain't supposed to be wet with oil. It's not supposed to be wet. It's all supposed to be dry. So this bad gasket, bad design, and a bad fix to solve it. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take this valve cover and we're going to clean it real good with parts cleaner, carb cleaner, gas, however you want to clean it. Get all this dirt, get all that out of there, all this oil. I'm also going to show you this part here separates. There's going to be a sponge right in here, and I'm going to show you, we're going to clean that all up, get all the oil residue out of there completely. Same thing with up here. We're going to clean this block all the way around. We're going to soak up as much oil of that oil right there as we can, because I'm going to show you the Permatex fix for this. And you don't want oil when you're dealing with Permatex. So basically what I do, for sure make a mess, but don't bother me, I'll clean it up later. Spray what you can out of there. Don't worry, you're not going to hurt nothing. Get what you can out of there. now's a good time. If you think you gotta adjust your valves, engine's running a little rough, backfiring through the carburetor, backfiring through the exhaust, and you want to check your valve gaps. I am actually going to check my valve gaps real quick, just because once I send this with the Permatex, it's closed. So I'm going to check my gaps real quick, and then I'll get back to you with cleaning it. Alright, so now that I got the block cleaned up really good, my valves are good, we're going to come over to the bench. And I got this cleaned up pretty good. There's a little corrosion or whatever you want to call it on the outside, but there ain't much you're going to do about that other than buy a brand new one if you're worried about prettiness. But this is a buy, fix, and sell. So this is a flip flopper. So I'm going to clean it up, the whole machine up really good, and send it. But the key here is to not have a whole bunch of time into it, because that's how I make extra money. So what we're going to do is we're going to separate this part here. You can see the line all the way across. Do not force this. Get you a little pick. See what I got? A little pick. And a nice thin, as thin as you can find, flathead. As thin as you can get, flathead. And what we're going to do is we're going to stick the pick in there, in this hole, nice and tight as you can. And we're just going to get it started. So, and this is the part that sucks, because I don't have a cameraman. So, flipperoo with the camera here. Alright. As much time as I can with you guys. So you got to pick, get that little hole right there, get this inside pan started. I'll be right back as soon as I have it started. Alright, so you can see that I got that inner pan started. Now what we're going to do is very gently, very gently, we're going to walk around it with your thin screwdriver, just like a paint can. Just get it. See that? Walk it around as much as you can, or as much as you have to. Okay. Once I get this pulled out, fun to do it with one hand here. Okay. Let's see. Now, got to get all this oil out of there. All this oil's got to come out. Take your sponge. A lot of paper towels. This oil screw up your Permatex seal. So, and dab as much of that oil out as you can. With your paper towel. Okay. I'm just gonna let that chill until I'm ready for it. You're gonna take your parts cleaner, brakes cleaner, gas, however you like to clean things, and get all the oil off of all the surfaces. Inside here, all along the outer edge of here, inner edge there, and we'll be right back. Alright, once you've cleaned up both the inner pan, inside and outside, left to right, up and down, everywhere, is all that oil completely out of there. Now we're going to take and put our sponge back in. Push it down in with your hand, easy. There you go. There. Now that, squeaky clean. We're going to grab our Permatex. Now we're going to be real generous with this. You gotta worry about how expensive it is. This is gonna be your best friend. It is messy. I like to take my finger after. Kind of just even it out. No, I promise you can't use too much of this. I'm gonna fill it right up and good to the rim. I'm actually gonna clear that one hole right there to the right. Be right back. Alright, now that we got our Permatex good, just take your finger, go along the inner edge just a little bit. I know this looks terrible, but I promise I ain't gotta worry about no more leaking. We're gonna take, very gently now, we're gonna take our bolts and snug them up. Just finger snug, just a smidgen snug. I'll be right back. Sorry, before you put that on, before you put your bolts in, forgot all about it until just now. I just caught myself. I ain't professional by no means. We're gonna take and drop these in a little dish of carb cleaner, brakes, parts cleaner, or gas, and we're gonna clean that oil, get that oil off the threads, because we don't want no cross contamination going on between the oil and our Permatex. And if you got one of these on your model, then clean this up too. And now, after I do that quickly, then we'll put this on finger snug. Alright, so after you got them finger tight, wait an hour. And then come back and snug them up by hand. Do not get a hard on with your impact and think you gotta send these things, because you don't. You can clean up some of this. You ain't gotta worry about a lot of it, because your engine cover is gonna cover most of this anyways. But after an hour, come through, snug these up, crisscross, tighten this one, tighten one down bottom, tighten this one, you know, crisscross them just like you would a tire. And then that's it. Wait, I personally wait overnight, you know, a good, not full 24 hours, but it's 6:00 p.m. for me, so I'll come back out tomorrow morning about 10 o'clock in the morning, early afternoon, and it's good to go. I have fixed countless, can't even keep track, countless of these gasket problems, just the way I just showed you guys. A lot of guys will do, so go to their lawnmower dealer and they'll grab another brand new gasket and they'll put just this gasket in there. I always, like, if the customer does want this gasket in there 100%, fine, I'll do it the way they want me to. I'll put Permatex around the valve cover, then I'll put my gasket on the valve cover, and I'll put my bolts through same way, snug them up, let it set for an hour, and then snug them up. But a lot of guys will over tighten these, and that's more than likely exactly what happened. I've really never seen them leak through the top before, but this one was leaking pretty much everywhere. So these are junk. The fix for them are junk. Permatex never steered me wrong for these kind of, for this particular fix. So this is already starting to gum up real nice after about an hour. So there you have it. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you on the next one.